In this class, we are going to discuss about collections. So collections are basically used to store a set of elements, a list of elements. Okay, and the advantage here is that the list of elements can be any kind of elements. Okay, in arrays, the elements what we store in array should be of same kind. Okay, so that is mandatory. We say we create an integer array, it stores only integer values. We create a boolean array and it stores only boolean values. Okay, here the collection can have set of elements of same type or different type, so it doesn't matter. You can create a collection which can hold same kind of elements or different kind of elements. That is, that is allowable here. That's one thing. And the second thing is we have three varieties of collection. One is list and set and uh, map. Okay, map is basically not part of collection, but we'll be discussing all those things into collection only. Okay, so list is basically is used to store a list of elements, and set is also basically is used to store list of elements. Then you get a question, what is the difference between list and set? Why do we use list and why do we use set? Okay, so list will store a duplicate elements also. Let's say if you are storing 10 comma 10 comma 10, okay, so it will store all these three tens. Okay, but if you use a set, there are three duplicate elements 10 comma 10 comma 10, but it only store one single element, that is 10. Okay, so list allows to store the duplicate element, whereas set does not allows to store the duplicate elements. That's the only difference here. And when it comes to the map, it stores key value pair. Okay, let's say id 101 whose name is Sudhir. Okay, so in this way, to store key value pair we use map. Okay, and list is used to store list of elements including duplicate, right? It allows to store duplicate elements also, whereas set doesn't allow to store duplicate elements. Okay, the only difference, it is used to store list of elements but doesn't allow to store duplicate elements. Okay, let's see an example with the list. Let's take a main method. Let's create a list. Okay, it says an error, click on it. Import the list. There are two lists from java.awt and java.util. Go for the java.util, and there is an error. Okay, so we also have to specify in the latest version of Java, it's not allowing. We have to specify what kind of data you want to store here. I want to store a integer data. Still not allowing, cannot instantiate the list. Okay, Okay, we have to use array list. Okay. And this is not mandatory. If you want, you can use it, or if you don't want, you can remove it. Okay, so yeah, so one more thing we need to understood is, okay, so list is a interface, and list is implemented by two kind of classes, multiple kind of classes. One is array list and vector and linked list, and what else? So that's it, I guess. Okay, so remember, list is a interface. Okay, list is an interface. We'll write it here, and let's say interface. And set is also interface. Interface contains only abstract methods, right? We cannot use the interface directly. And the set is implemented by has set and tree set and linked has set. So do not worry, we are not required to learn all this stuff. So what we are interested is array list. Okay, so if you know this one, that's more than enough for you to continue in the Selenium, complete Selenium. Okay, anyway, we'll also learn has set, and we'll also learn map. So map is again an interface. It contains list of abstract method. So if you want to use a map concept, you have to use one of the class which is implemented the map. Okay, so let's, who implemented this map? One is hash map, tree map, hash table, linked hash map. Okay, so in my material, what is array list, what is vector, what is linked list, all those things are there. But for our to work on Selenium, so the maximum thing which we require is array list. Okay, if you know the array list, that's more than enough. So beyond that, if you learn anything, that is added advantage for you in your future purpose. Okay, so let's say list start. So if you want to add any element to a list, to a collection, you have to use add. So there are certain methods which are similar to a list or a set. Okay, so those are, I'll write few things. Okay, one is boolean add object element, and the most commonly used, there are many methods. I'm writing most commonly used. Int size and void clear, and one more method is there is a method called contents, boolean contents. Okay, if you want to check a element is exist in this list or not, okay, you can use contents. If you want to clear the entire list, entire collection, you can use this clear. And if you want to get the list of number of elements are there in a collection, and if you want to add an element to the collection. Okay, so let's take a rough diagram to understand once again. So We know in the very beginning we discussed that set and there is a list. Okay, and can somebody assist me what are there in the set? Hash set and
Tree set, linked hash set.
exactly, you are right. Exactly, you are right. Tree set and linked hash set. So set is what? An interface. List is what? An interface. Remember that. Okay. We cannot use set or list directly because those are interface. Those who implement the classes who implemented this set or list we can use in our code. We cannot create an object for the interface. Okay, we already know, right? What is a list? Array.
Array, vector, and linked list.
Exactly. Array list and vector and linked list. Okay. Now the most important thing in the hierarchy level, collection. Okay. So this is also an interface. This interface is implemented by extended by set interface, and this again collection interface is extended by list. And now this set and list are implemented by these different classes. This is the hierarchy. Okay, so remember, and map doesn't come into picture of collection. Okay, though we discussed maps in collections concept, but it is not actually comes into the collection interface. Okay, so why we call all these things are collection, because it has a capabilities to store set of different elements that could be a same or different kinds of elements. That's the reason we call set, list and maps are collections concept. But ideally and theoretically, set and list are only part of collection, and map is separate. It's a separated one. Map is a separate one. So who implemented the map?
Hash map, tree map, hash table, linked hash map.
Exactly, you are right. Okay, so during the interview, they will not ask you. Okay, but if you go for any Java certification exam, they will try to confuse you that I know map is. They will try to make a question that saying map is part of collection. Is yes or no? So you have to say no. Map is separated one. Okay, so it's a though it comes into collections concept, but it is not part of collection interface. Okay, so you have to remember that map is not part of collection interface. Okay, who are the part of collection interface?
Set and list.
Exactly. hash table tree map linked hash map. Okay, that's fine. Now we are going to discuss about list right now. Okay, so list can be defined like this: list equal to new array list. You can also define vector like this. Okay, so as it is a list is a parent, we can see list is a parent for array list, vector and linked list. A child object can be stored with the parent one. That could be an interface or a class, anything is okay. So that's why we use like this. Okay, if you have any confusion, you can also use array list here. Anything is okay. The previous one is the child class object we are assigning to the parent one. That's it, nothing else. And list dot add. What are the common methods which are there in a collection? The methods of collection is add, size, clear, contents, and many more are there. But most commonly and most important methods are these four, and these methods are part of collection. These methods are from collection interface. These methods are from collection interface. Is nothing but there are some methods in the collection interface that has to be. When I say set is extended collection interface, that means set also will be having those methods and list also will be having those methods, one thing. And when I implement these classes, hash set or tree set or linked hash set or array list, vector, linked list, these methods will be implemented by each and every class, right? Otherwise those classes become abstract classes, we cannot use them. Okay, so what I'm going to say is these four methods are available in any of the class. Okay, because these four methods are from collection, and in the hierarchy if you see, these methods are came to the set and also came to the least level, that is these classes. Okay, these methods are common to every class from the collection. Okay, array list dot add, I wanted to add some 10. Okay, so 20, that's enough. Okay, so this is one way of adding. Once we add, how can we retrieve it? So there is one more method, right? Size, to give the number of elements are available in the particular list or collection. Okay, it is 3. Size is used to get the number of elements stored in that particular list. Here we use list, that's the reason we saying list. One more method is what? List dot contains, I'm giving 30. Okay, let's see what is going to return. True. If I give 40, it should say false to me. Okay, understood? What other method? Clear. I say list dot clear, and I say list dot size again. So after clear, there is no element is going to be stored. Okay, all the elements will be cleared. And after that, if you can say list dot size, it will be 0. So now we exercised all these methods. So let's remove and try to retrieve these elements. Okay, one is for, so what are these elements? These are integer elements, right? Okay, let's have a integer, I colon, and it's a list object. Okay, the object name is list. Okay, sysout I. Why it says okay, just because of okay, so we have to cast it to integer. So that's the reason it is recommended to specify what kind of data you are going to store. Okay, so by which, so it is recommended and required to store, required to say what kind of data you are going to store. Now you can see there is no error, and you can see 10, 20, 30. Okay, so this one thing. Let's add a string data to the array list. Okay, now change it to string. So by specifying string here, you can say that this particular list can only store string. If you try to store something else, list dot add of something else false like that, so it's gonna say that the method add string in the type array is not applicable for the argument boolean. Okay, so we have to store only string. Let's say so there, let's selenium, let's write trainer. Okay, to retrieve the values for, it's a string data we are going to retrieve, and it's a list. Okay, so this is another way of writing the for loop. Okay, so this is a list which is containing multiple elements, and every time a loop is executed, one of the element will be stored to str, and that we are printing here. Okay, so first time it will this list will return the Sudhir, that is stored in the string str. The next time loop executed, this list will return another element, that is selenium, that will be again stored in the str that we are printing. So that's how it executes. Okay, selenium, Sudhir, all those things. So please go through these videos and try to replicate as it is, and understand it, and learn it. Okay, and in our tomorrow's class we are going to use these concepts whatever we learned today in our selenium. Okay, so recommend you to understand this entire collections properly. So thank you.